Hey guys, what's going on? James here. And first things first, you guys see the photos up of me and the boys. To everybody that I saw at today's training camp, I want to say shout out to every single one of you guys. It was awesome seeing you talking about Buccaneers football and just about life in general, man. I hope to see a lot more of you guys at future training camps as the days go on. If you were there today and I didn't see you, didn't get a chance to hang out with you guys, talk about some Bucs football and just about life, I'm sorry about that. That's my bad. I hope I can see you in future training camp days. But for now, I want to talk about some of the players that I was more interested in going into this training camp and talk about who left an impression on me. The first two people that I want to talk about is Jameis Winston and Scotty Miller. Now, talking about Jameis first, and keep in mind, take everything I say here with a grain of salt, because quite frankly, it's one day, and obviously it's the start of training camp. A lot can happen as the days and weeks go on, and we shouldn't draw any conclusions just from this one day of training camp. So, first thing about Jameis is he did have 2 interceptions. One interception was by Jordan Whitehead, and one interception was by Mzee Wilkins, who was just freshly signed, an undrafted free agent out of USF, so shout out to them. They did a very good job. And you know, Jameis had his rough moments today, but he also had his good moments as well, so I was very happy to see somewhat of improvement. Obviously, I expect him to get better as the days and weeks go on for training camp. And then talking real quick about Scotty Miller, there was one play where he was running. He did not turn around to look for the ball, and it hit him right in the back of his feet as he was running, which was a little bit disappointing to see, but obviously, you know, it's just a rookie mental error. That'll get ironed out as time goes on. He did have some good plays later on in training camp, which was very nice to see as well. He was getting time as an outside receiver. He was getting time in the slot. He was getting a lot of time in a lot of different places, which again was a pretty cool thing to see. Also, real quick, I want to talk about Mzee Wilkins. He had that 1 interception, so shout out to him. And then Jordan Whitehead, quite frankly, he, in my opinion, was the best defensive back out there on the field. He did a phenomenal job. Him and Vernon Hargreaves, shout out to Vernon Hargreaves, both just did such an awesome job of being around the football and making plays left, right, and center. It was pretty darn good thing to see. Another thing that was also very encouraging, Cairo Santos made 5 out of his 6 field goals, which was good. He was hitting them from all lengths of the field. The only one he missed, I believe, was from 55 yards, so that was good. Matt Gay didn't kick. He'll probably kick tomorrow, so that's just something we have to wait and see on. Also taking a look at O.J. Howard and Peyton Barber, both of them looked very good. In the case of O.J. Howard, he's just an absolute beast, and he made some phenomenal plays, one of them being a touchdown pass from Jameis Winston, so shout out to that. That was just very good thing to see. O.J. Howard was just an absolute beast today. And then in the case of Peyton Barber, he is, you know, looking faster. He's looking bigger and tougher and stronger. He's having a very good day of training camp, in my opinion. He looked very good, was making some sharp cuts and making some very good moves, and I was very impressed with him. I was also impressed by Vita Vea, not so much with his play, which he did play good, by the way, that should go as said, but also just his leadership in general. I thought that he came off today as a strong leader for this Buccaneers defensive line, and I thought that he did a very good job taking control of the Buccaneers defensive line unit as training camp went on, so that was very encouraging to see as well. I was also impressed by backup quarterback Blaine Gabbert. I thought that he did a pretty good job. Now, obviously, he's not going to take over Winston's job or anything, but I did like some of the passes that he made. I thought he did a very good job as training camp went on, and he just did an overall good job as well, being a backup, you know. One thing I do want to point out, by the way, is you can see Bruce Arians there in the B-roll footage. I was very excited to see him. I spent a long time looking for him. But yeah, like I said, Blaine Gabbert did a very good job, had some very nice passes to a couple of wide receivers that I will be talking about in a second here. But Gabbert, you know, did an all right job. Ryan Griffin, I thought it did a decent job as well when he was given opportunities to make some plays. Both those guys should have an interesting battle going into training camp moving forward. And all in all, they did a pretty decent job as backup quarterbacks. But anyway, the other players that I want to talk about that impressed me a lot today. First one, Bryant Mitchell, number 16, I thought did a phenomenal job today. Bryant Mitchell really impressed me. He was catching passes from Blaine Gabbert, from Jameis Winston, and from Ryan Griffin a bunch today. He looked really good. There was some moments when he was out there with the ones, and guys like Bryant Mitchell's, you know, a guy who I think is going to surprise some people. I was really not even surprised. I was really impressed by him today. I thought he did a phenomenal job, and I think he can be really good. And then finally, Brashad Perriman, in my opinion, he was my favorite player today in terms of just overall ability and making plays. As you guys can see, there was that there was that play with Scotty Miller like I was talking about. But yeah, Breshad Perriman, best player of training camp today in my opinion, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if you could say for maybe the entire training camp, but Breshad Perriman killed it. He had a one-handed grab. He had multiple over the shoulder types of grabs with guys like Blaine Gabbert, Jameis Winston, and he was just catching a lot of the things that were thrown his way. There was one pass that went past his arms that was thrown by Jameis Winston, but I'm not going to count that too much against him. So yeah, those were the guys who impressed and who need to work on some stuff. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much my thoughts on the players who I was most intrigued with going into day one of training camp. Like I said, Jameis Winston, Scotty Miller, Bryant Mitchell, Vita Vea, Gabbert, Peyton Barber, Santos, Whitehead, Wilkins, Howard, and Perriman. Those guys all had something going on during this training camp. And geez, Breshad Perriman, like, I'm a big fan of Breshad Perriman. Now, obviously, I left some guys out, guys like, you know, Chris Godwin and Ronald Jones and stuff like that. Ronald Jones was definitely interesting in my opinion, and obviously I can't talk about every player in today's video, otherwise we'd be here for a hellaciously long time. But I will say Ronald Jones, he's looking stronger, okay? And that was one of the more interesting things that I saw. He's definitely looking stronger. He's looking a little bit tougher, and he's looking like he's making some better cuts this year, which was encouraging thing to see as well. One thing that you guys are going to find interesting is Peyton Barber looked like the clear-cut #1 guy, and he was definitely getting a lot of time with the ones, not just as a runner, but as a passer as well. Shout out to Andre Ellington. He had some good plays today as well. But yeah, Peyton Barber looks like the clear-cut #1 running back right now, and I could potentially see that being a permanent thing as we move on with the training camps. Rojo did some interesting things as well. Alex Kappa was the #1 first-string right guard going into the first day of training camp, so will that continue? Will Earl Watford get a shot? I expect that we're going to be seeing a little bit of rotation as the days goes on, but Kappa was the first guy out there, and it was just something to keep a note on. And then finally, hey, no music. No music was playing, and you know what? I thought that it was great, okay? I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I could talk with people who I was sitting around about what's going on with the team. I think that it really helps with the communication level between the coaching staff and the players. I think that it really helps these coaches teach the players, because obviously, you know, I've heard people say, oh, well, it simulates game environments and stuff like that. You can have that at certain points, but right now in training camp, it's all about teaching these guys. It's all about teaching them the techniques. It's all about teaching them the ins and outs of the defense and offense. You are going to have a tough time doing that if you have loud, blaring music going on during these, you know, and everybody was relatively quiet, which, you know, I know some people might say, but come on. But guys, let me tell you, I really was interested to see this, because I thought that it was very refreshing in my opinion, because these guys are going to have more of a chance to hear what the coaches are saying and let it really stick with them, because obviously if there's blaring music and blaring fans, you know, it's going to be a little bit tougher for them to learn the techniques and the skills that they need to make this team a winning team. Now obviously cheering is totally different, but I really liked the absence of music. I thought it was a very nice thing for the fans, and I thought it was a phenomenal thing for the players and coaches to really help them really you know, ingrain what they're trying to teach, and that communication level I think is going to be a lot more solid this year, at least at the training camp level. Because of that lack of music, there's going to be a lot more teaching, I think, going on. But guys, let me know what you think about this day one journey of the training camp journey. I'm going to have day 2 up tomorrow, as well as the live stream is going to be up tomorrow as well. If you guys want to see more plays of what happened in today's training camp, definitely go check out that live stream. It's definitely worth a watch. But until the next live stream or the next video, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 of the Buccaneers training camp. I will have Gabby with me, and it will be a wonderful time. I hope to see a lot of you there. But until the next video and the next live stream, see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs!